Shiny hunting in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is so much fun and so addicting. That's why I'm giving myself one day to find as many shiny Pokemon as possible. Let's begin. I made myself an extensive list of Pokemon that I believe have the best shinies in the game before starting this challenge. These are all the Pokemon I hope to capture before the end of our time today. And at the very top of that list is Cloth. Cloth has an incredible shiny, so I knew I had to have it. And it just looks so tasty. So I made an Encounter Power 2 Rock Sandwich. I should mention, all of this was done without Sparkling Power, just for some extra pizzazz, and got to work. After running around for 20 minutes, I realized I wasn't finding as many Cloths as I had hoped. I guess it's somewhat of a rare spawn, and there were just too many Nackleys. So instead of wasting more time, I did some date skipping for about 10 minutes before a Cloth outbreak appeared. So I went there, knocked out 60, did one picnic reset, and then this happened.
Oh! There it is. Is that a shiny Gulpin too?
Two shinies on the screen at the same time. So I attempted to catch Cloth first, since it was the target, while Gulpin cheered us on. Eventually, Cloth got bonked hard enough in the head with a Great Ball, and then it was Gulpin's turn, which was caught in a Dive Ball. So in our first 40 minutes, we found two shinies, only one of which was on our list though. Speaking of which, our list has 25 different Pokemon on it. I know it'll be really difficult to catch them all, and for every Pokemon on the list that I'm not able to find shiny, I'll be wonder trading away one of the shiny Pokemon I do find. So go ahead and guess how many shiny Pokemon you think I'll be giving away. Anyways, the next Pokemon I had my sights set on was a shiny Bagon. If you know me, you know I love green shinies, and think they don't get enough appreciation. Green gang. So obviously I needed one of these little Yoshi looking guys. And fortunately, there's a very easy way to hunt it. I saw a video posted by KB Pokemon that shows exactly how to do it. But once I got there, I saw a bunch of Sableye spawning, and remembered what a great shiny it had. So I made a sandwich for Ghost Encounter Power, and let the Sableye start spewing out the walls.
Oh, did you see that? Golden Sableye. That took 4 minutes.
We had now found our third shiny in just the first hour of hunting for shinies. So yeah, a little lucky. And now it was actually time to hunt for Bagon. So we whipped up a Dragon Encounter sandwich and did the same strategy. Unfortunately, the 30 minutes of the sandwich boost came and went. So we made another. And after another 15 minutes... Oh! So our first 3 shinies took about the same amount of time as just this little fella. But she was well worth it. Green gang. With the final 15 minutes of our boost, there was another dragon I had on my list that I was eager to catch. Arceus, the pseudo-legendary of Gen 5. Hello? Wait, really? Arceus isn't the pseudo-legendary? Hydreigon is? That's crazy. Did anyone else think Arceus was the pseudo-legendary in Gen 5? Anyways, Arceus has an amazing shiny, so the hunt began. But we weren't hunting for the murderous looking Pokemon Arceus. Instead, we were hunting for the cute little baby, Axew. But 15 minutes wasn't enough time. Another sandwich was consumed, and another 30 minutes of hunting went by without a shiny. So with the third attempt, I instead did some date skipping, until an Axew outbreak appeared, KO'd 60, and did a single picnic reset.
Is that one right there? Oh my god, okay.
Which I accidentally caught in a regular Pokeball. But oh well, and of course I immediately evolved this little baby into its incredible black shiny. So we were now up to 5 shinies in about 2.5 hours. Next I decided to check out a Noivern outbreak, since I was on a shiny dragon hunting spree. And on the way there...
Oh my god!
So about 5 minutes after our last shiny, another one appears. Our luck was back. And our next target was going to be the shiny I wanted the most before starting this challenge. A sandy little guy.
Welp, that took 2 minutes.
So our luck from the last hunt, if you can call it that, was still rubbing off on us. And we caught it in a fitting Ultra Ball. Probably one of the best Gen 7 shinies right here. And it's just a pile of sand. With 26 minutes left on the boost, and no other ghost types on my list, there was one Pokemon I had in mind. My favorite new Pokemon rolling onto the scene. Get it? Bramblin! So we spent the rest of our boost looking for one of these. But our luck from the last 2 hunts had run out, so we came out empty-handed. Bramblin may be my favorite Pokemon of Gen 9, but its shiny is pretty mid, so I'm not too upset about this. Also, I witnessed this.
Wow, that thing just exploded. It's dead.
Anyways, after that failure, I was lucky enough to already have an outbreak on my map for one of my planned targets, Jumpluff. Well, Skiploom, but Skiploom evolves into Jumpluff, so you get the idea. Whatever. We headed over there and reduced the Skiploom population. And after only 2 picnic resets... Oh! Look at that little smile. How can you not love this Pokemon? And thus she was caught with a heal ball. Now, the plan was to evolve Skiploom, but look at those floppy ears. And since it was so fast finding one, I figured I could hunt another one relatively quickly. Well, 20 minutes later...
There we go. Okay, got our second Skiploom.
Now, 20 minutes obviously doesn't seem like that long, and realistically, it's not. But when you're on a strict time limit, spending any amount of time hunting for a shiny you already have is just asking for trouble. But it was well worth it in my opinion once we got one of my favorite Pokemon ever created. Also, I should mention, I was giving myself 24 hours to hunt shinies, but it was not done in one sitting. It was completed over the course of a week of playing. What is that? Oh! It's our next target, one of the funnier new Pokemon in these games. But you can't tell me that its shiny isn't crisp. Well, unluckily for us, it took not 1, not 2, but 3 sandwiches for this thing to show up.
Yes, finally!
And obviously, I put it into a Premier Ball. I was close to calling it quits because it was taking too long, but its shiny is just too good. And a little bird did tell me to keep trying about halfway through the hunt.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what possessed me to look down there, but I'm not complaining. So even though our luck finding Toadschool wasn't the greatest, we did randomly stumble upon a shiny Swablu, which was also something I was planning on hunting at some point during our 24 hours. Knocking out 2 burbs with 1 stone. You could also knock out 2 burbs with 1 stone by hitting like and subscribe right now. Go ahead, do it. I'll wait. Did you do it? Okay, great. I believe you. You wouldn't lie to me, would you? Right? Our next hunt was going to be for another goofy looking guy. Wiglet. I really didn't know the best place to look for this thing, but I made an encounter water sandwich, a real masterpiece if I must say, and got to work. Only problem was this was a beach, with a bunch of water types. Duh. Wiglets were showing up, just not nearly as many as I would have liked. So after about 10 minutes of hunting, I figured the best course of action would be to do some date skipping, in hopes of a Wiglet outbreak showing up. It didn't. Instead, after 15 minutes of date skipping, a Finizen outbreak showed up. And, I mean, come on, it's a dolphin. Obviously, I wanted it shiny. So I put the little golden hot dog on hold for the time being. Went to the Finizen outbreak, and for some reason my Toadschool refused to fight them. I don't know, maybe because it's a ground type, or maybe because this game is broken. Who knows. So I got my ducky out to take care of business. And after about 20 minutes of resets... Ooh! Finizen, more like Finneisen. Now back to our regularly scheduled hot dog hunt. After another 10 minutes, we found it. And by it, I mean a Pawniard outbreak. The noodle just didn't want to show up, and Pawniard was on our list of targets. So I had to take the opportunity while it was in front of me. Otherwise, I'd have to hunt for Pawniard in the bamboo forest. And let's just say, you move as fast as Dial up in there. Well, there was only one problem. This outbreak sucked. What do I mean by that? Well, some outbreaks are just in really bad locations, causing the outbreak Pokemon to not spawn as much as it's supposed to. Other Pokemon in the area spawn just fine, but the outbreak Pokemon doesn't. Really just unfortunate the outbreak was on the edge of a cliff. So there were about 2 Pawniards spawning at a time. Up to maybe 6 if we were lucky. Yeah, this outbreak was brutal. A smart man probably would have seen this, cut their losses, and moved on. But I am no smart man. I was filled with determination.
Ooh, finally. That took so much longer than it should have. I should have gave up because this outbreak was cheeks.
So yeah, we finally found our shiny. And honestly, it only took about an hour, which really isn't too bad. But it wasn't the amount of time that was so frustrating, it was how few Pawniards were spawning. And it must have messed with me in some way, because for some reason, I chose to catch Pawniard in a netball. Boo! I know. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but I was just happy to be moving on. Now back to the hunt for Wiglet. Just kidding, because a Marini outbreak showed up after another 15 minutes of searching. So we went there instead, and before I even had the opportunity to knock out any Marinis...
Is that a shiny? Oh my god, I didn't even knock out. I just got here.
Yeah. So the Wiglet hunt was going horribly. But look at this. We still had some time on our water boost, so I was willing to give Wiglet one last try.
A Lechonk outbreak? Sorry, Wiglet. Lechonk is my new best friend.
Yeah, so we were done hunting for Wiglet. But I was truly about to feel Wiglet's wrath for giving up on it. So we KO'd 60 piggies and then started doing our picnic resets. So we picnicked over and over and over again. This outbreak wasn't nearly as bad as the Pawniard one. Like, there were plenty of pigs spawning. Lechonk just did not want to shine for us. Until an hour and 20 minutes later.
Oh! Finally!
Also, I'm just now realizing we found a bunch of pink shinies. Alright, so thanks to Lechonk taking its sweet time, I had plenty of time to think of the next target. Sushi, because what goes great with ham? Fish. Was that a good segue? Tatsugiri was our next target. More specifically, droopy form Tatsugiri. Because the good people at the Pokemon Company are sociopaths, and decided to make 3 different versions of the same Pokemon. But what's truly messed up about this situation, the orange curly form shiny is still orange with a little bit of soy sauce, I guess, on top. The yellow stretchy form shiny is, you guessed it, also orange with I don't know what on top. Yum yum sauce? And the red droopy form has the only good version of the shiny, being white. So clearly that's the one we were looking for. So I made my dragon encounter sandwich and really put some strain on my eyes hunting for this tiny thing. You know, since 2 of them look identical and they're basically the same as the normal orange one. Whatever, you get the point. The Pokemon Company's a bunch of jerks. I'm out here looking like a pro gamer. Fortunately, my suffering was over quickly. Sorta.
Oh? I'm pretty sure this is a shiny.
So, our luck turned around after what happened with Lechonk. We found a shiny Tatsugiri, just not the one we wanted. But a repeat ball did go hard with this little piece of sushi. Does this count as successfully catching a target? I'm gonna count it. I did spend the leftover 20 minutes of the boost looking for the Tatsugiri I actually wanted, but with no luck. And that was that. I wasn't going to continue hunting for a shiny Pokemon I already had. Not when I was on a time limit. The next hunt would be for a very friendly shaped Marill. So we went to the spot, made a fairy sandwich, and then this happened.
Is that a shiny Scyther? I'm pretty sure that's a shiny Scyther with his pink skin.
Our luck continued. But not for long. Because although Marill is friend-shaped, it didn't want to be my friend for an hour and a half.
Oh, finally!
And then I accidentally killed it, which is why you always make sure to save. But I hopped back into my game, and...
What? Where's the Marill?
My friend was nowhere to be seen. So I reset my game again, and my friend came back. That was stressful for no reason. Now, what's the most appropriate Pokeball to use for something this friendly? You see where I'm going with this, right? The friend ball! Because Marill is a friend. Also, Green Gang. Next, I was going to a Slowpoke outbreak, because Slowbro was on my list, since it has a really nice purple, or should I say violet, shiny. Anyways, this was a mistake, because Slowpoke's shiny sucks eggs. In fact, let's play a little game. Go ahead and take a guess which Slowpoke on your screen is shiny. Trick question, they're all shiny. If you knew that, you're a better gamer than me. It's barely different from the original, which makes it difficult to tell if there's actually a shiny. So I kept running into Slowpokes thinking they were shiny when they actually weren't. Let me tell ya, trying to find the slightly different shade of pink Slowpoke really does a number on your eyes. So I gave up. Did I possibly see a shiny Slowpoke and just not notice? Maybe, but I don't care. It wasn't worth the trouble. What was worth the trouble? Orthworm. I know. Orthworm kinda looks like an idiot. But wait until you see that shiny. Bam! See? Now I bet you want one too. We made our way to the desert and cooked up a tasty steel encounter sandwich. Oh no. So we cooked up a tasty steel encounter sandwich again. So I just rode around in circles for a little while, and oop. And I caught it in a very fitting dive ball. Afterwards, I checked out an Askew outbreak, just because I literally always see them on the map, so I figured, why not? Again, my Toadstool refused to battle in the water, so the duck came back out. Quackquaval is always doing my dirty work. Really appreciate that, buddy. Then I started doing picnic resets. Now wait a second, did you see that? Let me play that back for you real quick. How about now? A shiny Kilowattrel just flew by my screen, and I had no idea, because I was busy looking for a blockhead. But literally 3 seconds later... Ooh! So I guess that kinda makes up for it. Also, another pink shiny. I was kinda on a hot streak. You know, minus that burb I didn't see. But we don't talk about that. So I figured I'd tackle another target, Reveroom. If you've ever attempted a Reveroom outbreak on a mountain, you know it can be kinda the worst. Well, this one was actually really good. I've tried my luck at my fair share of Reveroom outbreaks, and none have actually spawned this many. After knocking out 60, a shiny spawned after about 20 minutes. Ooh. And let me tell ya, this shiny was made to be caught in a luxury ball.
Beautiful.
Next, we headed to Alfornada Cavern in search for a shiny Salandit, or Salazzle. Made our poison sandwich, which looks so gross. Lettuce and noodles, ew. Also, making a sandwich in a cave is blinding for some reason. And got to work for about 10 minutes. Then switched locations because there were too many other Pokemon. So I went to the Dalizapa passage and drove around there for about an hour and a half with no luck, which is just unfortunate because this shiny is so clean. But sometimes they just don't want to show up. And with our time getting lower and lower, I couldn't waste any more here. So on to the next target, Mareep the Sheep. I love this Pokemon. This whole evolution line. Mwah! Perfection. Especially the shinies. So we made another winner of a sandwich, and check this out.
Oh my god!
It's so funny how luck works. You can spend an hour and a half or longer in a musty cave, and come out empty-handed. Move on to a different hunt, and find it almost immediately. And you already know how this works. Pink Floof equals Heal Ball. And with 27 minutes of electric encounter power still at our disposal, I attempted to find a Pokemon that left a strong impression on me earlier, the blue balls themselves. So we headed back to the mine shafts. Like I said though, luck works in mysterious ways, and this time we had none. So after a full sandwich of looking, blue Voltorb did not appear. A lot of Voltorbs did blow up though, and I think that's just great. Then we went to check out a Glimmet outbreak, because Glimmora has a really nice teal shiny, which I don't think many other Pokemon get. But so many Glimmets kept spawning in the walls out of bounds, so I didn't think it was worth the trouble. So we went back to one of my favorite areas of the game, this time with an encounter sandwich for bug types. There's a couple of bug types that spawn here. Fortress, Heracross, Spidops, all with really nice shinies. But the one we wanted was the Ball of Yarn Tarantula. So the hunt began, and after just 10 minutes...
Oh!
Another pink shiny to add to our collection. But the hunt for Tarantula was still on.
Oh! Absolutely need to make sure we save, because this bad boy will explode.
Attempt 2. I think this is the first steel type I found with the really clean updated textures.
Shiny.
And just like our Reveroom, this thing was made to be caught in a luxury ball. So we've been here for 15 minutes and found 2 shinies that weren't the one we were looking for. And after just another 10 minutes of looking...
Oh!
Our 3rd shiny in under 30 minutes. Every bug type in this area except the one we wanted. And of course, another pink shiny. This area had been good to me, but I figured I should go somewhere that only Tarantula would spawn to make my life easier. And when that didn't work, I did some date skipping. Well, what happened next was probably some of the most unfortunate events that could have took place. Pay attention to the time on my switch here. Some of you may already realize what's going to happen. Also, for those that don't know, 23:56 in military time is 11:56 PM. Eventually, I found an outbreak. This outbreak definitely wasn't in the best location. Only a handful of spiders were spawning at a time, but I didn't mind too much and started knocking out 60. Then, this happened.
Wait. No! Oh no, the time! It's midnight! No!
Yeah. So then I had a slight existential crisis, and got back to doing more date skipping. After another 5 minutes of date skipping, a Slowbro outbreak appeared, and since we had no luck with the Slowpoke outbreak before, maybe losing the Tarantula outbreak was a blessing in disguise.
Oh my god, you've gotta be joking me.
Okay, so maybe not. In all the time I've played this game, even with all the performance issues and bugs and whatever, I've never had a crash before. Until now. Luckily for us, this was the end of our misfortune. We missed out on 2 outbreaks though, so back to date skipping. Until another Tarantula outbreak appeared, which honestly was in a much better location than the first one, and found a shiny fairly quickly.
Oh!
So even though finding the shiny was an absolute roller coaster of emotions, the whole ordeal of finding the original outbreak, losing it, finding the Slowbro outbreak, crashing, finding a second Tarantula outbreak, and the shiny didn't take longer than 20 minutes. Next, we went to get our revenge on Glimmet. So I went and KO'd 60 of them, and discovered that if I do my resets in this little corner of the cave, the Glimmets just start popping out. Well, after only 5 minutes of resetting...
Oh.
Now, let's pause for a second. Did anyone see my mistake? No? Okay, let's keep playing.
No! Why didn't I save?
That was the mistake. The only time during this entire challenge that I didn't save before getting into a battle with a shiny. And it knows self-destruct. I'll explain in a little bit why this is even more unlucky than it originally seems. But since I found shiny Glimmet so quickly, I figured it wouldn't be a big deal to find another. And how wrong I was. This was a costly mistake. So I did more picnic resets over and over and over. After an hour of resets.
Holy crap! Finally! Oh my god!
Of course, I made sure to save this time. Now let me explain why the first Glimmet was so unlucky. So, as you can see, the second shiny Glimmet is level 46. The first one I found was level 45. Glimmet learns self-destruct at level 29. A wild Pokemon's moves operate on a FIFO system, or first in, first out. Meaning, whenever given the opportunity to learn a new move, a wild Pokemon will always delete the move they learned first. So, at level 46, when Glimmet learns Sludge Wave, it deletes self-destruct. Meaning, if the first shiny Glimmet we found was just one single level higher, we wouldn't have had to have wasted a whole extra hour searching for a second one. Of course, at the end of the day, failing the first shiny was my fault, but now we can finally move on. After we evolve it. At this point, we were starting to get low on time, and still had 7 Pokemon on our list to try and catch. So I went to Glacido Mountain with an Ice Encounter boost to try and find a shiny Citadel, with not much luck. So then I attempted to look for a Citadel outbreak, and eventually got distracted by a Sneasel outbreak. What can I say? Sneasel and Weavile are top tier Pokemon. Also, that's shiny. Ooh, so good. And after about 45 minutes...
Oh!
Also, pink. After finding Sneasel, we had about an hour and 30 minutes of time remaining. Unfortunately, Wiglet, Citadel, Slowbro, and Salandit were off the table. We already gave it our best shot to find them. And there were 3 Pokemon on the list that we hadn't had the opportunity to hunt yet. So, with our remaining time, our targets were Hawlucha, Rockruff, and Impidimp. Here's how it went. We started off looking for Rockruff, because he's such a good boy. Made our encounter rock sandwich, and rode around the area right outside Cortando. With an hour and 30 left on the clock, we were able to attempt at least 1 full sandwich boost for each of the final 3 shinies we wanted. Fortunately for us, Rockruff is such a good boy, he showed up in just about 10 minutes.
Ooh.
Impidimp, on the other hand, was not such a good boy. I got over to the tag tree thicket with a fairy encounter boost. I made a gamble, one that did not end up paying off. With the time we saved finding Rockruff so fast, I was able to attempt to find Impidimp twice, meaning we spent an hour looking for this blue little goblin, and came up empty-handed. So we had to call it quits if we wanted even the slightest chance of getting a shiny Hawlucha. So I made my way to where Hawlucha spawns, whipped up a sandwich as fast as You're joking. Whipped up a sandwich and got to work. And in just 3 minutes...
Let's go! No. Oh my god, thank god I just saved.
So, after a quick reset, we were able to catch the final shiny of our 24 hours. So, we ended up catching 30 shiny Pokemon, 20 out of the 25 on our list, which means we needed to wonder trade away 5 of our shinies. So, I pulled up a random number generator, and the numbers selected were 20, 22, 12, 16, and 3. Which were Askew, Mareep, Finizen, Tatsugiri, and Sableye. So, we traded them, and that's where the story ends. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Make sure to like and subscribe for lots of more Pokemon content coming. Bye!